Hello, thank you so much for tuning into Voice for All. I am your host, Jahmeelah Gamble. I love when you guys tune in because I know that the messages that we're trying to deliver on this show are getting right to you. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. My guest is Michael Bach from the Canadian Association for Community Living. And this is an organization that everyone knows. You have to know, especially when you have a client or a child who's over the age of 18 and they're using some of the services and programs that are being offered by CACL. So if at any point during this show you'd like to tune in with your questions, your comments, maybe show suggestions, please feel free to tweet me. You could join the Jam Fam on Facebook. You could email me. I love to hear from you. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael to learn more about CACL. I'm going to use the abbreviation because you know that is a mouthful in itself. So thank you for coming to A Voice for All.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for all that CACL does for our community. I'm going to focus obviously on Peel, but I know there's so many communities that they touch.
Right. We work in 300 communities across the country.
Wow.
In all provinces and territories. And our job is to lead the way in helping Canadians build a more inclusive Canada for people with intellectual disabilities.
I love that. And I was reviewing some of the programs that you guys do, and I especially love the one with the Ready, Willing, and Able, primarily because you hear so many people have this assumption that individuals who have disabilities cannot work. They ask, how can they contribute to society? And clearly, with this program, you are showing that they can contribute.
That it's absolutely possible. You know, the path for people, adults with intellectual disabilities, is usually finish high school, if you can get that far,
right,
and go on to welfare for the rest of your life.
Right.
And what we're doing with Ready, Willing, and Able is trying to change that story, to say, actually, it's possible. And we've got good examples all across the country of people working. Ready, Willing, and Able is about scaling that up. So that's a real opportunity for people as a way to live their life.
So what's the difference with, say, shelter workshops and what Ready, Willing, and Able is doing?
You know, sheltered workshops come out of the 1950s and 60s when it was an assumption that people wouldn't be in the labor market, wouldn't have a real job. What Ready, Willing, and Able does is work with employers who are trying to fill demand in a really changing labor market. And what we're saying is we can be part of the solution to your challenge. So we reach out to employers who and assist them to recruit and hire people with intellectual disabilities. And we've got examples of this right across the country and stories that we're sharing through our website, readywillingandable.ca. And we've just been supported with a major grant from the federal government to pilot this initiative in 20 communities across Canada.
Fantastic. So when you guys go into the employer, what exactly do you do to make them ready, willing, and able?
You know, what we find is that it's really about commitment. You don't require a lot of technical knowledge. It's do you believe in building a diverse workforce, and does your diversity include people with intellectual disabilities? So we're really, our main job is to help people think bigger when they think diversity. So whether it's about including a child in a regular classroom or including an adult in the regular workplace, what it comes down to is the values and commitment to diversity.
I absolutely love that. And that's what we try to do in A Voice for All. That's the whole point why we have the show, is to create the diversity and that awareness. What types of jobs do the individuals do?
We've got a range of experience. And for example, we've got been supporting some people to and this is through the leadership of Costco, to be hired at Costco. And in a recent evaluation that we've done, we've seen young people start sort of at the first level in Costco, and who have now got full-time jobs, have gone off social assistance, are making a major contribution to their communities. People are working. We recently had an employers forum in Markham, and had examples of people working at Tim Hortons, with transportation in City Hall. So you know, the world is their oyster if people are given a chance.
And I love the diversity in the jobs as well.
Exactly.
And I had this gentleman I used to support a couple years ago who has autism, and he was obsessed with straightening things and facing and organizing shelves in any store he went to. That to some people might look like, whoa, that's weird what he's doing. But really, that is a job for some people in grocery stores. They're facing the aisles. They're being, meticulous and everything like that.
We all bring our gifts, right? It's about finding the job that matches our gifts to an employer's need. And that's what Ready, Willing, and Able does. And we're actually partnering in this initiative with CASDA, which is the Canadian Autism Spectrum Disorders Alliance,
Wow,
which also have organizations across the country and support people across that spectrum, including people with Asperger's. And we've got, for instance, lots of software development companies who are looking for people who bring particular talents to software development and testing.
Wow.
So we've got, there are examples that CASDA is supporting as well across the country. So we think this is a pool of labor that can meet a demand. So this isn't about, we're not asking for charity. We're not saying, will you come and support employers, these people who are in sheltered workshops or have been excluded? What we're saying is, actually, we can help you solve your labor market needs.
Absolutely. That is amazing. Like, the fact that it's not just, please sort these knives and forks for us, or, please be our greeter. You're looking at their skills, you're looking at their talent, and what CACL is doing is essentially showing that they are fully capable of working. And it's almost safe to say that in the upcoming years, you're going to be seeing a lot more individuals with intellectual disabilities working amongst us.
That's the plan. Right now, only 25% of people with intellectual disabilities are working in the labor force.
Wow.
And the rate—
That's not enough.
It's not enough. I mean, when the average employment rate is 75%, and if you look at people with disabilities generally, the employment rate is worse than it was in the Depression. Like, how this many decades later are we doing worse? How far we've come as a society, but for people with disabilities, we're doing worse. Last week or a couple of weeks ago, we got a letter from a parent of a young man with an intellectual disability who had, the way Ready, Willing, and Able works is that we work with employers to recruit with the support of our local agencies across the country. And so their son had gone to apply for the job, but he didn't get it. And this father wrote and said, you know what? This was a fabulous experience. The fact that my son was respected enough to apply for a job, went through an interview, and was told, well, actually, no, this isn't quite the right fit, but good luck on your next job. So this isn't about making sure that just because you get an interview, you get a job.
Right.
It's about, like the rest of us, sometimes
we're going to experience that.
Sometimes you get the job and sometimes you don't. It's about participating in the labor market in the way that everybody else does. And this father said that this was one of the best learning experiences for his son.
Well, it's funny that you brought up that story and that this parent viewed it as something great, when I knew another individual who applied to a particular job and they turned her down because she apparently did not answer the questions the way they had liked her to answer the questions. And the mom's like, well, that's a part of her disability. She's unable to express herself.
So, and this is one of the things that we're doing with employers, and why our local associations, whether in Peel or any other part of the country, are so critical, because what they're doing is working with the employer and the individual to help the employer understand this person's unique ways of communicating and how to accommodate them in the interviewing process, and if they're hired in the onboarding process, because that's a basic right? We're all different, and our differences need to be accommodated in the hiring process and on the job. So that's one of the pieces that's been missing in the employment strategy for people with intellectual disabilities, is getting that support in the interviewing process, so that the employer can understand this isn't a limitation. This is someone's unique way of being and communicating.
It's as if they both need a social story.
Exactly.
So the interviewee needs to know how this interview is going to go, but the employer also needs to know how they should word the question, give them time to process.
Right.
I love this.
Yeah, and you learn from the research that people with intellectual disabilities are incredibly reliable employees.
And loyal.
Loyal employees. You don't have, often, the research shows, you don't have the turnover challenges. And, you have people for whom they just want a chance. And given that chance, they make a huge difference for an employer.
The amount of pride they have. And
huge pride.
It's even the smallest jobs that make them feel so amazing. I worked with a gentleman that we just distributed flyers, and he felt so proud. Like his shoulders must have been way above his head.
People just want a chance to participate
Absolutely.
and contribute like everybody else.
Absolutely. So what else is CACL doing?
Our job is to support, as I say, Canadians, to help Canadians lead the way in including people. We start right at the beginning to provide information to families who may be expecting a child, if they know a child has Down syndrome or another form of disability. We support teachers and school boards to include kids with intellectual disabilities in the regular classroom. The research shows if you're included and supported in a regular classroom, your outcomes in terms of employment, participation in the community, income are far and above more successful than for people who have been in separate segregated education, which we thought was the solution at one time. But like employment, we've learned kids learn better together.
Absolutely.
And in a world that's as diverse as ours, let's start right at the beginning. So education is a key focus for us. Also working with employers, with employers, but also with healthcare institutions.
Okay.
We've got an initiative across the country called In Focus, supported by the Public Health Agency of Canada, to support healthcare institutions to learn how to adapt and accommodate people with intellectual disabilities in the healthcare system. So we look at all aspects of life, and of the community, which have been closed to people with intellectual disabilities for so many years.
Well, you heard it. Michael has summarized it beautifully. There is so much happening with CACL. And employers, not only do we have to have individuals with disabilities ready, willing, and able, we need you to be ready, willing, and able. So thank you so much, Michael, for being on The Voice for All.
Thank you.
Stay tuned after the break. We have another awesome guest. Don't forget to join the Jam Fam at www.facebook.com/MissJamGamble. You can email me at missjams.pcss@gmail.com. And remember, Peel, please make sure your businesses are accessible. If you'd like to contact the Canadian Association for Community Living, you can contact them on Twitter at CACL_. I'm your host, Jahmeelah Gamble. This is going to be an energetic interview, guaranteed. You might have to bring the volume down because I'm sure it's just going to be coming at you. On one of my past episodes, I had Darriush, who is the storyteller, Rise of the Prince. Here's the book one more time. Don't forget there's another one coming out, so keep your eyes open. But this time we're taking a new turn. I have Danielle Strand from Dramway, and one of her amazing actors and talented actors, Darriush, who the focus is going to be on Danielle for the first part of the interview. Because he's an actor, he's always in character, and he's always ready to say his lines. And I'm so excited to have Dramway on because I've known about Dramway for years.
Right.
I just didn't know the connection that we had. So if you'd like to know more about Dramway, or you have any questions or comments you'd like to submit, JamFam, Twitter, email, all below. It's all down there. So let's get to it. Danielle, Dramway.
Yes.
First off, round of applause because
Thank
what
you.
you're doing is amazing.
Thank
You know,
you.
already in media, we don't really see a lot of people with disabilities in media, and you're basically presenting that opportunity to them. So tell me about Dramway.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was my goal. I had done a lot of work before starting Dramway, where I'd done some one-on-one and doing a lot of support work, and it was just something that I loved. It always made me so happy. And then I went, when I did social work and I went into drama and education at Concordia, I got to watch some drama therapists in action, and I thought, oh, this is totally what I love to do. And so after spending, I think, over 5 years in school and doing theater courses and always doing drama from a young age, I thought, oh, this is perfect. I will blend my social work and theater together.
Genius.
And I didn't even really know, like, drama therapy, what is that? But when I saw the drama therapists in action, I thought, this is so what I want to do. I want to get out there and just be able to help people through drama. And it had helped me personally too. So I knew from personal experience, this is what I love. And I started it in my parents' basement with only 6 actors, if you can believe that, Dar. And
no, I can't.
it's crazy, right? Because now we service over, I think, 300 people on a weekly basis. So
That
there's
is
a lot happening.
mind-blowing. And when I said I've known about Dramway for years, when I used to support Dar at camp, he'd come with his script, like some of it rolled up and like scrunched and everything, and he's practicing his lines, and we're practicing with him.
Oh, I
and
love
I'm
it.
like, okay, I don't know what this is about, but we're doing this with you. And then when we started
I
talking,
believe it.
that's how I found out the connection. So it's amazing.
Well, and
That's
see, that's
actually true, Danielle.
Is that true,
is,
Dar?
That is what we actually that is what we actually done in our past lives.
I believe it.
We actually did the drama work.
Well, this is what's so cool, Dar, because you're mentioning, and what Jam said is that, it goes beyond the classroom.
Absolutely.
So, you're seeing the work that we're doing with the
You guys are
scripts.
doing productions.
We're doing
like
full-on
actual
shows.
full-on
Maybe a little too lengthy,
shows.
but they are amazing
And
shows.
if I recall, do you guys have certain things in place that helps the actors if they forget their lines? Like, is there like a voice or something that comes down and?
There's maybe it doesn't come down, but there's myself. I'm kind of planted
Oh,
and
it's
hidden,
you.
right?
That's kind of our voice.
Kind of a voice, right, Dar? Am I hiding and
Yes.
a little bit on the side and just there for support, right?
So it's kind of like a silhouette.
Silhouette. That's a perfect way of putting it.
A
essentially,
gorgeous silhouette.
We've got kind of the narration that kind of keeps it all going.
Yeah.
And so there might be an actor like Dar himself who's churning out the lines, he's doing it. I can kind of pull back my narration. There's a lot of improvisation that goes along, right?
That's awesome.
You're working in the moment, responding to each of the actors. Maybe there's stage fright. So I've kind of got to gauge it as I'm watching, or they're saying backstage, oh, the prop is stuck, or oh, someone's costume fell off. Oh, this one's actually vomiting. She's sick backstage. So you don't know. There's a whole wide variety of stuff that's happening.
Right.
And so you're responding, as are all the staff and volunteers, the many that help me, which they're all incredible, right, Dar?
So
Incredible.
what types of disabilities are on the shows?
It's a full gamut. We have no limitations, so we try to be as inclusive as possible. I mean, I do find a lot of individuals are coming with, say, a wide range of developmental disabilities. It's kind of a mix for some
Right.
individuals as well. A lot of individuals with Down syndrome, but really we're working with all levels of
You
functioning.
don't turn your back on anyone.
I try to just stay open as much as I can. Obviously, it is a fee for service, but a lot of individuals have come through the years with us, and there's always something that allows them to come and help make it. Whether they're able to get funding from Passport or their options programs, we never close the door to anyone.
So before I ask Dar which plays he's been in, hold it, don't say it yet. Tell me some of the productions that you guys have put together.
So, I mean, we've had a wide gamut through the years, and we've really grown through the years as well. So we've done anything like Cinderuski, an adapted version of Cinderella, using a male character.
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
it's
Not
quite a wide
joking.
variety. Not
We're
joking.
not
it's the
joking.
truth. We've done a version of Pinocchio. We've done kind of a talent version that we called The Awaited Arrival, where we incorporated some film. So we did live theater as well as some film sequences.
Basically comedy.
Basically comedy.
We're bringing in the comedy.
It's not your turn yet.
There's some drama too, though, right?
It's
Dar?
not your
We've got
turn yet.
serious
Danielle's
stuff
telling us
too,
the
right?
productions.
There's
We're gonna get.
about drama too.
We're gonna get to your production soon. Keep going.
This is like a class rehearsal for sure. We did Grease this past year. We've done
Starring?
Oh, who was the star?
Starring
Danny
me.
Zuko.
Were you
right
Sally
here.
or Sandy? Well, who
No,
were
no,
you?
no, not Sandy. I was Danny.
You were Danny.
Danny
is
I
suave
wonder
one.
why he was Danny.
Are you a ladies' man, buddy?
Just a little bit.
Why not?
Why
What
not?
do you love about Dramway?
What do I love about drama way? Well, we're basically what I love about, well, she is one of them.
Thank you.
See,
He
Casanova
loves
over
me.
here.
Of course.
Oh, please.
Kiss number 3.
And what I love about drama way is, well, basically I love what I do.
Love what you do.
I love what I do, and that's pushed me to certain boundaries.
Wow, I love that. Pushing into boundaries. And I think I think it's safe to say that Dramway has contributed significantly to the personality that Dar has. Dar has a personality. We know he had that personality from in the womb.
Definitely.
But I think it's really blossomed and it's come out through what Dramway offers.
Yeah, and that's just one example, right? We've got such a wide range of different actors that come. So Dar is one of our actors that loves to get the lines and work in a lot of verbal elements into the show. But it's not to say that even if we had a nonverbal client that's in the program, we are able to tweak and tailor. And I think that I'm sure most families and most actors would say that that's something that we're really skilled at really being able to tailor and see the talent of each actor and bring that out within the plays while still doing a very typical show.
Even when I ad lib, do you know what that is?
I do. I'm sure his ad lib is really dangerous. I'm sure it's a show in itself.
We sometimes have to.
I'm sure it's a show in itself.
See, I truly doesn't mind if I ad lib.
I don't mind, but
there's
sometimes
restrictions.
we do have to close the curtains on that monologue.
Yes. You know, we're just going to stop there.
But she still doesn't mind.
She doesn't mind.
And we got to admit, Group B does have a large audience following, so we don't.
Are you popular?
Large audience, and besides being a popular guy like I am.
It's so hard being popular. It's so hard.
And
Well,
Dar,
not for me.
I feel so bad for you that you're so popular, Dar.
it's a rough life. And I think, Dar, would you agree too that I know that you gave me compliments as well, which I so appreciate, but would you not agree too that Dramway we wouldn't be able to do what we do without all the wonderful volunteers, right?
Oh yeah,
I
we have
would
to
agree.
we have to say thank you to the volunteers.
We are so, I mean, I'm grateful to all my wonderful volunteers, our wonderful staff, all of whom just bring a whole wealth of different experience. And even some of the families who help us backstage, hours lifting
for sure.
sets
The
and,
moms,
and
the
things
dads,
like
everyone is
that.
helping.
And I mean, you know, what's exciting is as we're moving
the
into the
moms,
fall,
the dads, the
Dar, one
brothers.
moment.
One moment.
I'm almost done. As we're moving into the fall, we are giving a shout out because the reality is this summer we're looking at the programs, and the reality is sometimes, as you can imagine, you get down to the numbers and you think, oh dear, these shows cost a lot.
Yes.
So right now we really are doing an enrollment and a shout out to everyone in regards to registration, because we do need a minimum of 13 in each class really to be able to run it. So, and also volunteers, we're always welcoming people in the community to help us out. And just, you know, see all the great action that really happens firsthand.
Dar, before we get to you,
Thanks.
if you are a parent, a teacher, educator of some sort, and you see that your child or your student has a talent within them, instead of keeping that talent in the classroom or locked away inside, contact Dramway. This is a fantastic opportunity for their personalities to come out. I'm sure they develop so many social skills as well as speech. You could see for yourself that Dar is a star in himself. I'm not going to let you talk because I have like 10 seconds.
It's okay.
Dramway is doing fantastic things for the community. If you are looking for volunteer hours, if you're looking for a program for your child to be in, I encourage you, I urge you to get in touch with Dramway, because this program is opening so many possibilities, so many doors, and really inspiring so many minds. So this has been another fantastic episode of Voice for All. I will catch you all next week. Don't forget to join the Jam Fam, facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble. And if you'd like to email Dramway, their email is dramawayoffice@gmail.com. You could also catch them at Twitter @Dramaway.